If those guys die before me, I will go to their funerals and piss on their graves. Send them out awash in something. 3 people, 2 bullets.
Oh, yeah,
Gilbert, Hitler, and Pol Pot. Gilbert gets 2 bullets in the head. So not only is he talking, and this is also multiple, because they are those guys. This is plural, right? So he's talking about multiple people. And then I wasn't attacking you. I was trying to understand your logic. And I've told you this before. You were talking about hoping that Jennifer Gilbert's children would die. No problem voting for Jay Jones, right? This is a guy that like fantasized about, his political opponent's children.
Wait, but then there's nothing wrong with voting for Donald Trump? This guy said he would like shoot a on like in the middle of the street, and like people would just like forget about it, right?
They say I have the most loyal people. Did you ever see that? Where I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay? It's like incredible.
Yeah, it's silly.
That's a fucking lie.
You know who disagrees with Kyle? Jay Jones disagrees with you. He says, yes, I've told you this before. Guys, don't listen to Jay Jones about what Jay Jones said. No. Listen to me, and I'm going to tell you what he really meant to say. This is the text message. It's right here. Oh, wait. I'll go even farther here. Do I think that Todd and Jennifer are evil and that they're breeding little fascists? And this is Todd and Jennifer. Jennifer again. There it is.
I just don't get why like these people are like so shameless and it's so transparent like what they do. It's crazy to me, actually, if anything else. Like Asmongold will say some of the most cruelest shit I have ever heard. Like straight up, like the most cruel shit you can ever say. And then on the other hand, he wants to have his cake and eat it too by being exceedingly virtue signally about nicety politics. I don't know. Like this is the double standards poisoning that I've been talking about this entire time, right? And the reason why I say it's poisoning is because you don't realize it's happening over time, right? Until it's too late. It's a very slow poison that is only taking fruit now, right? When all the violence is starting. But then I fear that by the time we have an antidote, it'll be too late, right? Or by the time we realize that we should have administered the antidote in the first place, it would have been already too late. And I think that is the most blackpilling part of all of this, is that I really wish like people would wake up, I guess, and start realizing that we just can't live by these double standards. We can't do it.
Guys, but hey, don't believe any of this, okay? It's all a lie. Jay Jones actually was lying in his private text messages to somebody else that got leaked later on. And Kyle actually knows what he meant to say, though. Yeah, don't listen to Jay Jones. He's taking his own words out of context.
That's a fucking lie. You're lying. You're lying. He said shit like,
yes, I've told you this before. Only when people feel pain personally do they.
I can't believe, like, again, it's so crazy to me how like blatantly like he gets his like Republican propaganda, right? Like these are all just the most Republican propaganda talking points, is like this Jay Jones shit, right? Once they get a hold of it, it spreads like wildfire. And it's just so shameless. The way, not saying that the text messages were wrong, but it just goes to show how effective everything is. I don't know, it's just stupid. But yeah.
They move on policy. As a response to, you were talking about hoping her children would die.
Shit.
You just look it up. Like, why would you even say this? This is the guy that's trying to make the argument from authority that he's the political person you should be listening to, and you couldn't even look up the text message.
I wouldn't even, like if I was like fucking Asmongold, like fucking private manager or some shit, yeah, I wouldn't tell him to fucking interact either. Like, fuck that shit. Yeah, why the fuck would you interact with someone who's gonna fucking beat you in a debate or some shit? I don't know. Yeah, silly. I get it. I understand.
3 people are in an elevator. Hitler, Pol Pot, and my Republican opponent. What do you, and you only have 2 bullets. What do you do with the 2 bullets? And he says both go in.
But what does he have to be like scared of anyway in the first place? Asmongold will always have his insular audience that is never going to be convinced by literally anything, period, ever. it's like I don't know, like what are you afraid of? I don't know. It's just silly. I don't know, but
his opponent. That's obviously a fucking joke. And
do you guys think that this is a person that was joking?
Uh-oh.
I don't think that it was a joke. I don't think he was joking about this. Now, I think that this is the reality. I think that he probably wouldn't actually do that. He's just a weird, mad retard. However, I don't think that he was saying this as a punchline.
Okay, so if it's not a punchline, is he correct? If it's not a joke, then there must be something to glean off of it. How do you know if it's like not correct or not? Like, because he says that, oh yeah, like the only thing that could convince these people otherwise would be like the death of their own family members, right? And if like, obviously I wouldn't go out and do it, but like if I were to go out and do it, like it wouldn't even like even then I wouldn't be I wouldn't know whether or not like my mind would be changed, right? So it's like, yeah, like is he correct or is he wrong? Right? I don't know. Yeah. Mond, what is this? Uh-oh.
Well, yeah, we're finally fucking fixed it now.
Okay.
Yeah.
If this is so urgent and they were so concerned about
Never say anything about this ever,
seeing,
and always say how grateful you are.
justice be done.
Oh,
yes,
They would not have blocked the request.
yes, Dan-san.
This
Me
is
so
about
grateful,
politics.
Dan-san.
They blocked
You
our
know,
United States
number
motion
one,
to expedite their bill.
Dan-san. Number one.
And
Is that your
Republicans are ready to get
Foodshops
the
impression?
job done.
Daniel-san.
So we can continue to get onto these important issues of dealing with what the American people
Nice, good
demand
one.
and deserve for us to deal with.
Is that what you want?
And so I want to leave you with this thought.
Sure.
Everybody should think
Present
long
Okay.
and
your
hard
penis
about
right now, and I'll
who here
suck
is
it.
acting truthfully,
Let's go.
honestly, and in good
Virtually.
faith.
Good one.
The core
Would it be a joke if Trump said the same thing? No, it would be a constitutional crisis again. Of course, if Trump said this, he would be farming it so hard. Everybody knows it.
joke is this
Called out, dude. It's like being called out by a toddler. Like,
is how fucking evil these Republicans are. That's the joke, right?
By the way, never even talked about the thing with the kids. Never even talked about it.
Fucking, oh, he wants to kill. No, he fucking doesn't. And by the
They're
way,
breeding little fascists. Uh-huh.
everybody knows that. The right knows that.
Okay, is he wrong,
it fucking
though?
edgy as
Yeah.
fuck? Absolutely. Was it private and not meant to go public? Absolutely.
Yes.
But he doesn't actually want to kill his opponent. And by the way,
Well, I mean, so were the Republican group chat. That went public too.
that's why he fucking won.
it's always
Thank
5D
fucking God he
chess.
did.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Finally, now we're having a conversation. So it's not that he didn't say it. It's that he did say it, and it was good. Okay, good. Now we're having a real conversation.
Because Republicans have said far worse? Yeah, because Republicans have said far worse. Like, why the fuck would we care about Jay Jones, who have won the election, by the way, when Trump has literally done the action to coup the Capitol, right? To coup the Capitol building, to coup Congress, and he got reelected, right? So he did the action, and then he got reelected. Whereas Jay Jones declared an action, didn't do anything, and got elected, right? Like to me, this is a very clear double standards thing, right? Like, it's very clear to me that people don't actually care about whether or not they stay consistent, especially like when it comes to Asmongold. Like, frankly, yes, I do know. Like, of course I know that Asmongold is anti-January 6th, right? Of course I understand that Asmongold does not like January 6th, okay? I know that. People say it to me all the time, every single time I criticize this guy. However, does that really matter? Does that really matter when the primary cause of January 6th is like someone that Asmongold is rooting for? I mean, it just goes to show that you don't actually care all that much, I dare say, about any of this. I mean, you say you care, but I just don't see where that care is, right? I don't know. Yeah. So it's like, again, this is why like I find like all of this virtue signaling so silly. Like, it doesn't even matter whether or not you're like pro January 6th if you still support the guy behind January 6th. Like, that's so silly to me. Like, when in no world would like Republicans accept this standard from the Democrats. Like, there's just no way. Like, they still talk about Hillary's emails and the BLM riots to this day.
Station. All right.
It's
So
like, what-
it's not that.
what am I
Yeah,
supposed to do?
you agree with it.
No. Stupid.
So now it's a good thing. Yes, it's not happening, but if it is happening, it's good that it happened. That was fast.
Because guess what? It's the exact opposite of what you're saying, Asmongold. Finally, Democrats have gotten it and woken up. This is the only way.
Also, I like how mad Asmongold is, okay? Thank God, okay? This guy is such a smug prick. Dude, fuck this guy, honestly. Like, I hate Asmongold so much, dude. I hate the fact that, like, he is so smug and condescending about literally everything. Like, he kind of reminds me of Andrew Wilson, right? Andrew Wilson is the kind of motherfucker who would, like, do smug shit like this all the fucking time, right? just simply because he knows that it'll piss other people off. I mean, congratulations, mission successful. Okay, you pissed me off. But like, also, it's just I don't fucking know, bro. Like, this shit is so stupid. On God.
Finally, they've realized that the solution is to kill the children of their opponents. Okay, well, how about that? All right, well,
And he says this with such confidence as well. You know what? I admire him. I think Asmongold might be the only one braver than Vosh, okay? Because when it comes to Vosh, he went into that debate with the professor, right? Where the professor was like, okay, water is still water. Like, we have to accept the objective reality of water. And then Vosh is like, no, actually, Professor, you're wrong, okay? It's actually agua, okay? You don't understand. It's actually agua, all right? Let me correct you real quick, okay, with your academia learning, all right? Asmongold is like one level above that, where he's like, actually, you don't know anything, all right? I know everything about politics, despite not engaging with politics in any way whatsoever. Because at least Vosh has read up on philosophy, you know? Like, at least I know that Vosh, like, knows at least some bit of philosophy. But Asmongold, without knowing jack shit, just going off of his Twitter feed, yeah, I know everything. I know all the double standards, yeah.
crazy policy there.
I literally saw verbatim earlier in this video, Asmongold was like, looking at Twitter, the fucking Twitter feed, so that he can get up on the latest news, bro. I can't do this anymore. I just can't. This is not sustainable. I can't do this anymore.
For us.
I'm going insane.
Because Trump made this politics the rule of the day. He made it like this. Let's remember. Here is what Trump and MAGA, here's what they've referred to Democrats as during the Trump era. The enemy within, scum,
He's reading them out. Okay, so what I find to be funny about this is that, yes, Trump has used negative words about Democrats, but how many times was Trump called a Nazi? How many times was he called a racist? How many times was he called a Russian asset? Bro. How many times were his protesters, what do you call it? His
I don't know.
Supporters called that. Hillary Clinton called the people who supported Trump a basket of deplorables. Like,
are they not? That's like the most lightest. I'm sorry that she is spitting. Okay, don't fucking hash my Queen Hillary's browns. Okay, she's right, and you're just mad that she's right. It is a basket of deplorable because when I look at Asmongold, he's deplorable. Am I getting something wrong here? Like, when I see Asmongold, he's a deplorable.
We can trade lists of bad names all day. Like, I mean, the fact is that both of them have been doing that. And they called Trump a Nazi, calling him a fascist, everything like that. Calling him a Nazi during 2016, that's crazy. Crazy thing to say.
Terrorists, vermin,
no Queen,
radical,
lunatics. I would say calling somebody vermin, radical, or a lunatic is not even remotely in the same category as calling somebody a Nazi. I don't even think they're remotely close.
No, except that Trump has literally called like people fascist. So I don't know why he's saying this. Mainly because, you know what? If I were to guess, he's probably like selecting facts for himself, and he's like picking and choosing what to believe and what to like leave out in the way that he thinks about things. Okay, like the truth of the entire matter is that Asmongold is just like fucking addicted, okay, to conservative slop. All right, he sees something that's working. He sees something that brings him attention. Yeah, I don't even know why Asmongold, people pretend like Asmongold doesn't care about attention either. It's very clear that he loves this shit, right? Like, someone doesn't have to be a total bluster like Miskiff to convince you that this person loves attention, right? For me, Asmongold will always just kind of be a loser, and it is what it is. But hey, you know, it is what it is, okay, I guess?
Demonic, evil.
Demonic, yeah, it's not even remotely close.
Demonic, evil, really? So you've never seen a single, bro, ever? Demonic and evil, like the two most othered phrase by the Republicans when it comes to Democrats. It's okay. All right, I'm calm.
They don't call Trump evil? What are we talking about?
Fascist.
This actually inbred, dysgenic, pathetic, loser, bottom of the gene pool, only appeals to other dysgenic retard, okay? Asmongold thinks that he is spitting right now, okay? But people do not know how little he is spitting, in the sense that he is dry in the mouth. Okay, just ignore that part.
Marxists who called him a Nazi?
Bro.
Who called Trump a Nazi?
Communist,
I wonder.
garbage, the enemy of the people, treasonous, animals, degenerates, Jew haters, lowlives. This is how they talk about us. And then
True! Hello? Truth? Truth nuke? Truth nuke?
And
Hi, Foodshops. Hello.
what do people say about Trump supporters? It's worse.
I believe when we go, okay,
Yeah. Okay,
bet,
thanks.
these are the new rules. Fine, we'll play by those rules too. Now,
Whoa, no. No, this was happening ever since the very
Are you saying we can't take the retarded horse to the water? Yeah. You cannot lead the retarded horse to the water. The retarded horse think that saliva is water, but actually saliva did not provide the horse the hydration, but it still swallowed the saliva, thinking thinking that it get the quenching the hydration, but when it later dies, then it finally understands that quenching the saliva is not the same as the water. Okay, sorry.
very
I'm sorry.
beginning.
Just,
This
that
has
dragged on for
always
too
been
long.
what's happened. And I think
dragged
the
on for too
reason
long.
why
I'm
people like
sorry.
Kyle were upset is that the words that they have used for many, many years, things like Nazi, racist, etc., all these bullshit words, have effectively lost all of their meaning. Like, nobody really cares whenever they hear these words anymore because you've used them so much that there's been a diminishing return on it that people hear the word and they just immediately stop paying attention to you. And the reason why is because you've overused it.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that, but you're not the one that's supposed to be saying that. That is a critique meant for left-wingers, only for left-wingers, okay? Because the problem that I have is that whenever conservatives say this, they are concern trolling, to me, at the very least, right? Because when Republicans say, well, the problem when you say Nazi or whatever, as if you're giving feedback, stop. You're not trying to give feedback. You're trying to win. You're trying to win. You're not trying to give feedback. You are not the feedback people, all right? I would take it way more seriously if that feedback came from a left-winger than versus someone like Asmongold, who is just simply weaponizing the feedback form in order to concern troll about all of this, right? Why should I take any of the so-called feedback that he has when it's very clear to me this guy does not have my interests at heart? Right? I mean, not that he's actually giving genuine feedback, but the way that they structure these things are very deliberate, all right? Like, the way that things are talked about is very deliberate and very purposeful, okay? And I don't think this is Asmongold literally thinking, well, this is how it is. This is what I'm going to do. But it's more like most manipulative people don't realize that they're being manipulative. Right? That's just the way I kind of look at it. Like, most people who are manipulated probably doesn't realize, yeah, I'm actually actively manipulating my audience right now. But to me, at the very least, this is the way that, like, Asmongold, because I'm pretty sure I had, like, at least one Asmongold person tell me that, oh yeah, Asmongold actually is giving advice on why the Democratic Party doesn't work. And I'm like, that is absurd.
used it for everything.
Yeah.
And so I think the problem, really, why Kyle's upset about it, is that the optics game that Democrats, I think, and a lot of these liberal people had a monopoly over,
I think they know on
especially
some
in media,
conscious level, sure.
has now, I think, to some degree been evened. And you have obviously Republicans saying crazy shit about Democrats and Democrats that have repeatedly said crazy shit about Republicans. But for the early 2010s, and I think also for the 2020s
right?
as well,
Yeah.
there has been a tremendous amount of optics that have been defined and controlled primarily by Democrats. And it's Democrats labeling somebody as something, and then that person having to defend themselves from that label. This has been the primary operating mechanism that they have used to
People like Asmund who never see any of the horrible stuff that elected right-wingers do. Meanwhile, they know everything that some left-winger with 100 follower tweets and says. Exactly. It's the selective, like, the way that he processes information betrays his biases, right? Betrays the way that he sees the world. The fact that he doesn't know about the elector scheme, the fact that he doesn't know about the details of the Russiagate Mueller shit, right? The fact that even though he acknowledges that January 6th was wrong, he will still, like, go out of his way to defend it by saying, oh, well, I mean, I think there was some suspicious shit there, like, kind of implying that he knows some, like, secret conspiracy theory, right? Like, these are all things that, to me, at the very least, betray his way of thinking far more than the words that he's actually saying, right? He could be saying all truth, okay? Like, he could speak entirely in truth, but the way that he talks about things and the gap of knowledge and information that he has in comparison to everyone else shows where his bias is and exactly how his bias is being performed, right? Am I making sense to everyone? I'm trying to like at least if you guys don't if you guys like don't really understand, that's okay. I'm not really that good at explaining things. I will admit, like, I'm not the best at explaining things, but again, right? I just think like I just think this stuff is just kind of important. Yeah.
Discourse for a very long time. And now that it's not working anymore, people like Kyle are crying. And now they're saying, okay, now it's time to take the gloves off. You never had him on. You never had him on to begin with.
Oh.
This is always what's happened.
How you whine and cry and bitch and moan? No, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Compare what Obama has called Republicans or what Biden has called Republicans to what Trump has called Democrats. It is fucking night and day.
Those are the only 3 people that are involved, by the way. That's it. Those are the only 3 people.
I failed this
you get
mission.
Fucking,
Fuck me.
You know, buttoned up,
so disappointed.
Civility, decorum, professional presidents from Biden and Obama when it comes to their language vis-a-vis.
I don't know about being buckled up in civility with Biden. I think.
What are you talking about? Biden was probably one of the most milquetoast presidents we've had in decades. No, not decades. Okay, that's silly. But like in years. What the fuck? Like, I think like Joe Biden was probably even more milquetoast than Obama. Obama was very optics minded, but Joe Biden went the extra step, right? Like Obama was very careful. He still went on comedy shows and shit, right? Like he still went on Stephen Colbert. He still did a lot of cool shit that you could virtue signal about and virtue signal that is bad or some shit, right? But when it came to Biden, he didn't need to be that careful. Like he was extra careful because he was trying to lower the temperature of the nation. He wants to go back to normal, right? Again, he's just completely delusional. He's probably thinking of the red background, and he's like, "Oh my god, the red background, the red background speech. Oh my, that means evil. Oh my god, when there's red, it's evil." Like that's probably what, and he's probably thinking of COVID restrictions. That's probably what he's thinking of.
He was basically a walking corpse. But I would agree with him, like with Obama. I think Obama.
Okay, all right. If you say that he's a walking corpse, I'm sorry, but a walking corpse is far better than Trump. All right, like if you want to go there, we can go there. Okay, Trump might as well be a walking corpse anyway. Okay, this guy is like held up by 300 like pounds of like blubber. Bro is like a beached whale. He's like rolling around in the White House and he's barely functional. His entire cabinet is probably directing everything, including Stephen Miller, okay? Bro, this guy is barely a human being. This guy is like actually dysgenic, all right? Actually like fucking robotic as shit. Like I don't even know if he's like a living, breathing person anymore. Just,
Obama was great in terms of like how he...
You know, okay, you guys know about like You guys know about like the fucking God, what is it? Oh, the one Japanese guy that was kept alive? The one Japanese guy that was kept alive throughout all this time? That guy? Bro, that's Trump right now. Okay, Trump is like kept barely alive on his last legs. All right? He's got chemicals pumping through him, okay? Every day probably, okay, to stay alive because the Republicans are like, "Oh god, oh fuck, I don't know if he's going to make it past 3 years." Biden had every right to talk the most shit out of any president because his presidency came off the back of January 6th. Yeah, absolutely. And he still refrained, right?
Carried himself and how he acted as a president. I think
he's still
great.
Refrained.
Yeah, I think he was way better than Trump and also way better than Biden in terms of like being an international representative of the country, for sure. Yeah, true.
And the reason you say that is vibes, right? Because you have no backing to anything that you're saying. You don't think of anything. You don't everything you say is just based off of nothing. It's nothing. You are nothing. You are nothing. You're just the average conservative Twitter feed regurgitated into a stream. Are you even alive, or is that like skin being puppeted by a bunch of rats and cockroaches? Are you even a person right now? Because as far as I'm concerned, all you do, you're kind of like Raw Kitten House regurgitating Kiwi Farms. It's like, Asmongold is like the RSS feed of conservative Twitter, which is just Twitter.
Gary loves you.
Yo, thank you so much for 20 DKK. I don't know what that means, but thank you. Gary? Who's Gary? You just wrote a 2010s hardcore song? What does that mean? What do you mean by that?
The other side. But Trump, no, he's fucking throwing haymakers left and right. And like I said, finally, the Democratic
I mean, this is after they tried to put him in jail and, you know, like fucking gave him a mugshot, charged him 34 times for the same exact crime. 34.
It was not the same exact crime, you moron. It was a bunch of charges for one of the crimes, all right? But there were 2 to 3 other court cases, criminal court investigations going on around that same moment that included him essentially trying to rig the election on multiple fronts. It's 34 counts, where a lot of these counts are specifically related to the checks that he has been writing, from what I remember from the porn star that he was paying off, essentially. That was one of them. But that's just the tippy top, okay? That's the tip of the iceberg. That's the tippy top.
Or felonies. Yeah. I mean, come on, what are we doing here? It's pretty obvious that this has been weaponized from both directions.
That is, okay, yeah, yes. Fuck. Jay Jones, fine. We're totally fine with him. And now you
Exactly. And so now, finally, now we have the actual... By the way, does he putting this orange stuff on that Trump has? Look at his eyes and look at his forehead. What's going on here? How does this happen? I don't know. I just think it's odd, right? And anyway, so from an outsider's perspective, yeah. And so let me go back. So okay, so now you're in favor and you're okay with Jay Jones. Okay, that's fine. And now we have an actual...
Dude, I like how the way that Asmongold conducts himself is so much like a snarker, right? Like the way that he conducts himself is, I mean, here's the thing, okay? It works. It's a working formula, all right? Like whether you like it or not, it's a working formula. Like you make fun of them at the same time as criticizing their position. It kind of combines it all into like this stream where, I mean, that's just the standard, right? Like let's just be completely fair. That is the standard, right? That's just how it works. But like, I just like the way that he conducts himself is just like, he ignores the bigger picture on purpose, right? He sacrifices a lot of nuance, but it grants infinite nuance to himself, right? Like a way to see how people are biased is which side do they grant the most nuance to, right? For example, a moderate can say that they're a moderate and they grant infinite nuance to the conservatives, but for the left, oh, they're all crazy radicals. Oh, they're all terrorists. They're all evil, right? Well, I mean, you say you're a moderate, but, right? Fake electors in multiple states, hush payments to porn stars, stealing classified documents, calling the Georgia Secretary of State to find him 1,100 votes. That's insane. Like, the fucking phone call was probably one of the most blatant shit. But, yeah.
Conversation. Because
it also, like, from what I remember, it also kind of betrayed his thinking process. Because people were arguing for the point of, okay, but what if Trump genuinely believed that the election was stolen? No, he didn't. There's a good amount of evidence to show that he didn't actually believe it was stolen. That was just the public narrative. He is lying, right? Like he's always done.
Before he was saying, oh, well, this isn't happening. It's not going to happen, etc. But no, actually it is happening. You know it's happening and you're okay with it. So that's fine.
That's deep, bro.
You want to cry and now you want to bitch and now you want to moan. Well, maybe you should have fucking thought about
I've never seen a left-leaning centrist. Exactly, because everybody who's left-leaning just say they're left-leaning. They say they're liberal, right? Because everybody who is left-leaning or who will be left-leaning or who will be left-leaning forever will always just say, yeah, I am left-leaning, I am a liberal, I will stand on that, right? Even the more moderate lefties, right? Even more moderate Democrats will say that they are a liberal, right? Like even the most like moderate like motherfuckers will say that they are liberal. Like, yeah, it's silly.
that when Trump was calling us the enemy within and fucking terrorists. Maybe if you...
Because before that, nobody ever said anything bad about Trump or anything bad about his supporters ever. You see, he started it. Uh-huh, sure.
policed your own side a little more, we wouldn't have got...
Yeah, he did. People were calling him fascistic. He goes into office, does fascist things, and then now you're doing Pikachu surprise face. Like, what the fuck? Shit does not make sense.
Gotten to the point where Jay Jones would be the standard bearer.
If you're going to vote...
Oh yeah, guys, okay, just a reminder. Okay, you guys should go over to my second channel and go subscribe. I need to push that shit to 1,000 subscribers, alright? It is Snack Markets, okay? YouTube.com/blah blah blah, okay, Snack Markets, okay? You can find it on my main page. Also, join my server, okay? There's always new people coming in, constantly, alright? It's a very active server, discord.gg/foodshops. There's always some big argument going on, so please consider joining and then causing some drama, alright? So for my own entertainment.
For that person. That's right. And also, like, and I think this is another thing that's very revealing. And it's also revealing in a way that I think Democrats justify violence and rational.
Okay, some anime girl voice is gonna pop up out of nowhere at a very high volume. I'm gonna need you guys to cover your ears, okay? Because I'm starting up CZN. Also, I'm trying to apply for a CZN sponsor right now. Oh, but Foodshops, why are you doing the sponsor of a gambling game? Well, too bad. I'm playing it anyway on stream, so I might as well get paid, okay? So I already reached out. Okay, we'll see.
Is that they use things like calling somebody an idiot or calling somebody a lunatic or whatever, or an enemy, and then they compare that with somebody else fantasizing about literally killing someone. And I think this is more of the words or violence. I think, what would you really call it? Like grift? The manipulation. Basically,
what?
That word, like your words are violence and my violence is freedom of speech. That's basically it. There's no comparison. Yeah, it's not even remotely close.
Just a reminder that Asmongold literally advocated for ICE agents to start open firing on the protesters because the protesters were chanting "shoot ICE." He said that they were making an actual credible threat, even though none of the protesters had any guns, even though none of the protesters looked like they were hiding anything, even though there was no violence, I think, from what I remember from that one specific thing that would indicate like a gunfight was going to break out. Asmongold was unironically advocating for the ICE officers and the line of ICE agents like at the door to like fucking blast them, to blast the fucking people like chanting, okay? Just a reminder, okay? I'm just saying, okay, I'm just saying, all right, just want to be very clear.
And
he is a hypocrite, okay, like in every way. MAGA has spent the past 15 years calling Obama a terrorist, all Democrats pedos and groomers. Exactly, like you can't just like call politicians groomers and pedophiles and not expect the same like courteousness, like unequal courteousness, right? Like, dude, I'm telling you, bro, these lips are rated E for everyone, okay? You're gonna get some, okay?
You're not so justifying wanting to kill children?
Yeah.
I don't know why you would do that. I don't know why. Well, he said it wasn't even what happened, even though Jay Jones said that's literally what he said. You just see the fucking text message. It's right there. Also, if you act like a terrorist, maybe you are a terrorist. Yeah, and exactly. And also, by the way, I'm gonna be honest. If you are the kind of person that's going out and you are burning down Teslas, you are destroying property, you are vandalizing things, you're victimizing people, you're blocking roads, and you're destroying things, you are the enemy within. You absolutely are. This is something that is objective. It's not about a Democrat or a Republican. You are the enemy within. You are a lunatic. You are crazy, and you need
XCOM 1, the enemy within. Absolute cinema.
To be put in jail. And that's why we have laws against these things.
Asmongold can't debate someone live because his last two incestuous brain cells are too busy dry humping each other to banjo music. I wonder... Yeah, he's like trying to rub like two brain cells together and like they just cancel each other out. He's trying to create like a spark to create a fire, but then it just ends up canceling each other out. Positive and the negative. It's like you're adding +1 to -1, and +1 and -1 just cancels each other out to 0. Oh my god, dude. Where's my anime girl? It's coming.
Withdraw their nominations from them.
Pause.
Well, then I don't want to hear from you about how bad it is that somebody said something bad in a group chat.
Yeah, it just absolutely fucking incredible.
I can't wait until my bright blue eyes come in, okay? Because these are my pale gray blue eyes, as if I'm old and I'm dying, okay? Although to be honest, like old features on someone who is younger is kind of hot, right? Because if you look at white hair or gray hair, like you're like, oh, that person's old. But then you see white hair on some anime chick who's like super hot, and you're like, bro, that's super fucking cool. Like someone who's older with like pale blue eyes because they're older, and because the eyesight, the eyes are kind of like fading in color a little bit, right? Because they're getting older. You look at that and you're like, man, it's because you're getting older, okay? I mean, they're cooler, but like you're old, right? But then you see that on some like hot anime chick. Okay, I warned you guys, okay? I already told you guys. That was the warning, okay? I'm sorry. That scared the fuck out of me, dude. But yeah, like you put them in some anime girl, it's fucking hot. That's like, yeah, I mean,
it's amazing how he can flip the reality on its head.
Well, you've got to at least get the reality right, huh?
So smoothly, you know, and not even fucking think twice about it. Not even think twice about it. Meanwhile, who's the biggest commentator on the right these days? Nick Fuentes. Here's some stuff Nick Fuentes has said. Quote, Hitler was really fucking cool. I admire Hitler. I don't care that much about the genocide in Gaza. I'm ambivalent. He postures like he's pro-Palestine. That's what he's actually...
Oh god, dude, okay, if there's any one issue, Kyle will always lose on, because he has no self-awareness about how people outside of his audience will perceive him. It is Israel and Palestine, okay? Like, that is his Achilles heel, okay? Kyle is perfect, okay? Kyle is actually almost perfect, okay? But his Achilles heel is Israel and Palestine, okay? That's it, all right? Kyle is so based when it comes to bashing the Republicans, so based when it comes to going after Asmongold, right? Because finally, I want people to go after Asmongold in such a way where it's not just Steven going after Asmongold or Hassan, right? Because Steven alone cannot do it, all right? He's not really at his peak anymore, so he can't really go after Asmongold and put enough pressure to do that. Hassan is a clown and he's a lolcow and everybody laughs at him. So Hassan going after you would just give you more positive attention, to be honest, right? So the reality is that you need more than that. And Cal Kalinske comes in. Well, but then Cal Kalinske has a massive Achilles heel, which is Israel and Palestine, which also kind of cucks the criticism for Asmongold, because now everyone just gets to look at like the crazy pro-Palestine people, be like, yeah, they're always going to be like that. Like, of course, this is your Achilles heel. You were on fire until this, right?
Said about it. He said women shouldn't have the right to vote. Boys and girls should get married.
And how many crazy leftist people are out there? Oh, but Hassan said this thing. What the fuck does that have to do with me? But Nick said this thing. Okay. All right.
His teens, quote, be against women's rights, be against them getting educated. He said ban birth controls, ban contraceptives.
I don't like how Asmongold just says Like maybe you could, like, maybe I want to see Asmongold defend this, right? Because you can't just say to all the bad things that he's like listing off. If you're gonna say that it's out of context, then say it's out of context. Then explain to us what the context is, right? Explain to us what the context is. Because whenever somebody is defending someone else, right? It's always like, oh yeah, but that's out of context. That's not within context, or blah, 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 right? Like, at least like provide some kind of defense. Like, it's so boring when there's like literally no defense. And he just like glosses over things because he's just dishonest, right?
Don't allow women in the workplace.
Very boring.
Ban them from voting. Yeah. Pornography should be banned.
I don't know why. I don't know why I said all this. I don't remember saying any of this myself at all.
He called.
Well, the problem is that Asmongold is just a Groyper light, right? Like, he doesn't give off any of the hints of like being an actual Groyper, but he is a fan of Nick Fuentes. He likes Nick Fuentes. He thinks Fuentes should be nominated for streamer awards and shit. So, like, as far as I'm concerned, he might as well be a Groyper, right? Like, I don't care if he actually believes in Nick Fuentes or believes in all of his views. But to me, at the very least, like, Asmongold is just openly a Groyper in a way, right? But yeah. The same for Asmon. He deserves a vote. Yeah, and dude, I have to reiterate this because people, like, I don't know where you get this take, okay? Because I see some people saying, oh, well, but Hassan is more dangerous than Asmongold because Hassan is an infiltrator. Bro, You are delusional. You are lost. It's time to touch grass. Okay? It's time to touch grass. It's time for you to recalculate the way that you're living your life. Okay? It's okay. Not everybody lives life in the same way, but there are wrong ways to live life, and you ended up with the wrong opinion, okay?
For Catholic Taliban rule, he said, quote, we want to
Wow.
go back to the Middle Ages. This is your side. And this is the future of your fucking side.
You probably spent too much time watching commentary videos about how Hassan sucks, okay?
He said,
Okay. I mean, like, I. What? I mean, what does this have to do with me?
quote, democracy is wrong. Quote, I fucking hate the poor. I love the rich. And you're going to come after us.
Yeah.
You're going to come after us. The left, who's fucking the core of what we believe,
Groiper light? Yeah, but groiper light doesn't even mean anything, right? Because if you're a groiper light, you're just a groiper, no?
is, hey, everybody should be treated
Like
equally and fairly.
Yeah, it doesn't even mean anything, to be honest.
Okay.
Are you having fun?
Except for
Yeah, I'm
people
having
that
fun.
you're running
It's a great time.
against.
The core of what we believe is we should have universal health care and free college.
Then why were you okay with the ACA that was just basically a fucking welfare for these companies?
And a living wage, and we should end
I can't believe this guy used to be poor. Like, can you guys believe that? Like, I wonder if food stamps is welfare for Costco.
the wars, and we should let people join unions. We should have paid time off by law, paid vacation time, paid.
Also, like, I can tell that nobody in Asmongold's chat, like, either Asmongold's chat is, like, middle class, they aren't, like, they're not, like, impoverished, they're not reliant upon shit like this, or they are impoverished, but they're just retarded, okay?
Maternity leave.
This is, I think, the problem is that with a lot of these things, I actually agree with him on. Now, we might disagree with, like, how to get there, but, like, I also want to.
No, but you don't. You're against the ACA. That is insane. That is unhinged. Like, for the longest time, we thought that Republicans would never touch the ACA because it would be a suicidal issue. But look what they're doing. They're touching the ACA now. They're getting their little grubby hands all over. The little fucking grubby, like, Cheeto dusted, like, hands all over the fucking ACA. They're taking away people's, like, fucking healthcare. Like, you thought that they weren't gonna do it, but they went and did it. Yeah, of course we need to pull the nuclear option. Like,
A
what
lot
the
of these
fuck?
things too. But I think that this fixation around identity politics and these fringe extreme topics like Jay Jones wanting to kill people just are noise, and they get in the way of having a conversation about that.
Wait, but that's literally what you did. Like, you...
It does,
okay.
because I think that in a lot of these cases, like, fundamentally, I think most Americans want the same thing, right? To a degree, right? Not that they all want universal health care, but I think that people generally want to be taken care of. They want to. Kalinske says a lot of extreme things himself, by the way, like Hassan and Fuentes. Oh, I'm sure he has. And then, yeah, I remember Kathy Griffin. That's a good point. Once Kathy Griffin posted a picture holding Trump's head, it was published everywhere, and he's talking if Democrats are saints. Yeah, Democrats and Republicans do bad things. It's very obvious that that's what happened. And all of that happened, by the way, in 2016, not recently. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know what this is. Is this how politicians talk before
Terminally online
2016?
person.
Yeah, and so what Nick Fuentes said, like, I don't have to defend that. I didn't say that. Why the fuck would I even? Why even bring that up? There's nothing to do with it.
And we're the fucking problem?
Yes.
I can't. I can't with guys like this.
Uh-huh.
It's just...
You can't because because engaging with the reality of what's being said is so obviously against you that you don't want to admit it. It's very obvious that the Democrats have been the massively violent ones. And if you look at all of these studies, by the way, that were conducted, these studies don't show a massive rise in violence that happened in 2020. They don't show the massive rises in violence that happened during the Tesla bombings, for example. And the reason why is because
Wasn't there 7 Teslas blown up in total? Someone from chat yesterday said it was just like, or 2 days ago said it was just like 7 Teslas.
all of these studies are biased. But any reasonable person who just looks at the news can clearly see that every single time that there is anything violent, besides maybe January 6th and maybe 1 or 2 other times, the majority...
One or two other times. Okay, so immediately I can list off January 6th, right? Which you already listed off, okay? Charlottesville. The person who made the assassination attempt on Trump, we conveniently forgot about him. The Pizzagate shooter, the MAGA father who killed his 2 kids. I can also think of any kind of neo-Nazi fucking protest rally motherfucker thing. Why extra January 6th? Because if you counted in January 6th, technically there would be like hundreds of violators. Okay, so obviously you have to exclude January 6th because
majority of mass violence and mass hysteria is done by Democrats. It is. It's done by leftist people. Whether it is the Tesla attacks, BLM, or these ICE.
I wonder if Destiny's standard of life, starting when there is a conscious experience, applies to Asmongold, because I think he still hasn't had his. Listen, okay, not all poor people are born equally, okay? If you're born rich, typically you're going to end up rich, okay? But very few people who are born poor will end up rich, right? They'll just continue being poor, right? Because they're like already falling behind in life, right? With Asmongold, but then nobody will ever tell you that all poor people are the same, okay? Because if there's any evidence that shows that not all of them are manufactured the same, it's probably Asmongold and Destiny
protests. These are all left-wing things that are happening across the entire country, and they are justified, rationalized, and considered okay by so many liberals. And
some
that's
people
a
are
huge
bitches,
problem.
okay?
Antifa, yeah, it's another one. Or the assassinations, exactly. You see, it's not violence because it's justice. Yes. Mind you, we're talking about current events. Yes, exactly. I'm sure that you can come up with bad things that right-wing people have done in the past too. Of course you can. But I think overwhelmingly in the past.
I mean, what was it? Isn't it like over 200 instances of right-wing violence versus like a 2-digit number that is like in the low tens?
Past 5 years, or especially since Trump became the president, really, which is the frame of reference that we're really using here. Overwhelmingly, it's been Democrats. Overwhelmingly
really
leftists. It's not even close. The college protests too. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I forgot all about that. They're also including right-wing violence in prisons. Yeah, and again, these studies are biased. They're biased, and they are conducted in ways that are misleading.
Okay. So there's so much evidence that are completely not misleading when it comes to left-wing violence. But then if there's any studies that are showing me that right-wing violence is far more prominent, well, they must be fake. Like, this is, like, to me, at the very least, this is just this is just classic MAGA propaganda, right? There's, like, Asmongold, there's no point to Asmongold anymore, okay? Like, he is, in essence, become a live RSS feed for conservative Twitter, right? He's just the RSS feed for that. Yeah.
Anybody who knows anything about statistics would know that.
I would be surprised if Asmongold even knows how survivor's bias works, or any basic statistics term. I would be surprised. Okay, actually, he probably knows. Okay, because survivor's bias is a huge thing in the realm of streaming, so that probably doesn't count. Like, I'll be surprised if he knows like simple, like mean, average, median, like how to calculate for these. Look, all right, I'm just saying.
Again, I don't even know why he bothers. Why did?
Yes.
And also, wasn't he like?
I'm South
casually
African. We can
saying
see
some of the most
Democrats are violent.
genocidal
Yeah.
shit anybody's ever heard about Palestine not that long ago?
Yes, and that's the difference. See, the difference between me and I think a lot of people like Kyle is that if I say something that I think is wrong, I will say, I think that was wrong. I shouldn't have said that. But the problem is that people like Kyle don't accept that. They don't accept that. They don't want to hear that. And all they do is double down. That's it. And that's why I think they lose also. It's because they're unwilling to self-evaluate.
But Asmongold does a lot of introspection. Okay. All right.
And now he's going to
For the
tut-tut and
Chaz zone?
fucking
Yes.
finger wag and tone police the left. Fucking
No, I'm not tone policing. I'm just saying stop burning down cars. Holy shit, is it?
Like, is that still happening? In addition to that, like, in addition to that, like, how many cars were burned down? Or were you just like watching footage of like people scratching cars, like people scratching Tesla cars, which is still not okay? But like can you tell me? Because you keep saying people burning down cars as if like there's like thousands of cars being set on fire. Where are the thousands of cars implied here that is being set on fire? Is my question.
That hard? Stop setting cars on fire. That's it. Stop throwing bricks at police officers. You guys can,
I didn't know there was an army of Antifa soldiers throwing bricks at police officers.
you can have whatever you want to, saying some crazy shit. Yeah, some of it might be a bit over the line. But just stop throwing bricks. Stop being violent. That's it. I feel like it's such a low bar.
Most protests are pretty damn nonviolent, actually. I'm just saying.
Tone police yourself, you bitch. What'd he say? He said something really atrocious.
I did. That's why I apologized. I just wish you guys could do the same thing.
I don't remember the specifics, but it was something like, I don't...
That's fine, okay? Like, it's okay if Asmongold, like, goes after criticisms like this, but just so you know, right? Just so you know, Destiny doesn't go after Asmongold for that, right? And now Asmongold is avoiding him in every way, right? Like, Asmongold is actually scared of Destiny, okay? The only reason he gets to, like, avoid Destiny right now is because he gets to have the excuse of, well, Destiny has his drama going on, and because of all this drama shit, like, I don't think he's worth touching, right? Because he's not at his peak. Destiny is not in a strong position right now. So, of course, he gets to ignore someone who isn't actually using the Israel versus Palestine take that he had against him, right? Yeah.
feel bad at all talking about the dead people in Gaza. I don't feel bad at all. Then he went on to say something like they're inferior.
Yeah, Asmon has been dodging Destiny for the past year and a half, yes. And the last time, by the way, okay, the last time that Asmongold actually directly engaged with Destiny on Twitter, and then Asmongold got destroyed. Asmongold took like a fucking 1 week vacation. And he said that it has nothing to do with anything. It's like, okay, dude, thank you.
They're an inferior people. They're an inferior culture or something like that. I mean, I have nothing but disdain and scorn for such a smug
I would have never guessed.
prick. Who, by the way, is also quite judgmental considering...
How is it that I'm the smug and judgmental one? Meanwhile, you're sitting in your house, and you obviously I mean, let's be real, okay? Being a smug, judgmental prick. You're sitting in your house, you record these videos behind all of the books that maybe you've read, maybe you haven't read, it doesn't really matter. You're very obviously trying to portray yourself and present yourself as this intellectual person and create a degree of authority, and that's why you're wearing a suit, that's why you've got all the books behind you, that's why you got the spray tan on. Like, everything that you're doing here is a performance in order for people to think that you're more authoritative than you are. And that's totally fine for you to do that. It's nothing.
Wait, okay, so you're wearing a white shirt, you don't take care of yourself, you don't brush your hair, you have a constant health issue, right? You had like heart palpitations that one time because of your shitty diet, all right? You don't take care of yourself, you won't put money back into the economy by hiring services, right? Even though you're rich beyond measure. All right. You still cosplay as a poor person. You cosplay as somebody who is impoverished. All right. I mean, obviously, you did come from a background of that, but you still pretend as if you are that and live the life of an impoverished person, just so then your audience gets to view everything that you do sympathetically and in a better light. You're a rich person. You're a massively wealthy rich person right now who is trying to take the valor of actual impoverished people, okay? You're trying to take their credit, you're trying to use their name to smear everybody else. You're trying to use their vibes and smear everybody else. You are no different from Kyle Kalinske, okay? You're no different from Kyle Kalinske. You're no different.
Wrong with that, but
Kyle is a rich person dressing like a rich person. Asmongold is a rich person LARPing as a poor person. You are not the same.
I don't want to hear that I'm the one that's smug while I'm sitting here in a white t-shirt in my mom's attic from some guy who's sitting in his living room wearing a suit with a bunch of books behind him so he can appear to look like he's authoritative. I don't want to hear that.
Also, by the way, I mean, the same thing applies for Asmongold, right? Like, I don't really want to hear Asmongold talking about, like, how much he doesn't take care of himself, right? Like he brags about it. Like it's not something where he acknowledges that it's like actually an issue. Every single time he brings up one of these things to chat, it is performative, right? He wants to be looked upon like this degenerate who is just spitting facts from a very humble background, but in actuality, he is wealthy beyond measure, but he doesn't use any of that money to make his life better. All right. Why? Because he values the appearance of poverty too much over presenting in such a way where the points that he says can stand on its own instead of being the person who is LARPing as a poor person, using the valor of poor people in order to bolster his points, right? Just very performative, very fake. Okay, if there's anybody who is fake, it is Asmongold. Okay, like I would definitely say Kyle Kalinske is less fake than Asmongold easily. It's not even close. All right, it's not even close. It's not. Asmongold is one of the fakest motherfuckers out there. All right, just like how Hassan dresses up like a bougie, an actual bougie, while advocating for socialism. Asmongold dresses up as a poor fuck. And it's just two sides of the same coin, okay? It's really as simple as that, okay? Also, even poor people would dress in a suit, okay? Even poor people have a nice set of clothing to wear on a Sunday, okay? When they're going to church, right? Even poor people have a nice set of clothing at some point that they picked up from a thrift store or something when they are going to go out for a date, right? You realize that, right? But okay, all right, I mean...
If anybody's smug, it's you. Okay? And this is not even a personal thing. It's just an objective fact. I mean, what are we talking about here? What is this? He's not wearing shorts? I don't know. Maybe he's wearing a full pantsuit. Maybe he's wearing underwear underneath. I don't want to know. I don't know.
I offended him when I brought up stealth wealth in this chat. Bro, that is so good. I'm going to call Asmongold stealth wealth from now on, okay? He is stealth wealth. He is stealth wealth. True. Now I just have to say that 3 times fast, okay?
He's got cockroaches and fucking rats and shit in the background.
Oh, as opposed to you. Like, you know what I could do? This is what I could do. So I could actually get a bunch of books and then put them behind me, and I could wear a suit too. I could do that.
Okay, but the reason why you don't do that is because you weaponize your aesthetic of being a poor person, right? Like, that's why you're not going to do it. Yeah.
Would you like that? Would that make you take me more?
Yes, that would make me take. Yes, that would make me take you more seriously because at least now you're dressing your net worth. Yes.
Seriously? Would that make you listen more?
Actually, yeah. Yes. Because you're no longer pretending to be a poor person.
He's notorious for like never showering and stuff like that.
I do shower sometimes, just not every day or every week.
That's what I'm talking about, right?
I can't with this stuff. So,
yeah.
Apparently, according to Asmongold,
that's right.
It's not the people who have literally built concentration camps and sent people.
A concentration camp. You're evoking the Nazis and the Holocaust in order to discuss detaining people that are in our country illegally. You know the Holocaust killed, it was like 15 million people or 20 million people? It's just such a massive, like, collectively, right? You talk about, like...
Good question. Let's ask the Jewish Americans in this country what they think of Donald Trump. Because I would wager the majority of them are anti-Trump, by far. By far. There are obviously going to be some standout voices who like Trump just simply because he's, like, very pro-Israel. But, like, I would say, like, most Jewish Americans are anti-Trump. Yeah. That's a good question, okay? Like, I mean... And I would wager a lot of Jewish Americans actually with family stretching all the way back who like fucking died in the Holocaust. Like even they would compare the times of today to be very reminiscent of Weimar Germany and the Holocaust actually. Like these comparisons exist, okay? So don't pretend that they don't exist. People who are experts on the Holocaust comment on the way that Trump is grabbing power, and they agree that he is very reminiscent of the way that things have worked back then. Okay, experts. All right, we're not talking about random people who are just weaponizing things for political purposes. We're talking about people who recognize patterns in history and see where they go. Okay. Yeah. The New Zealand Party rule didn't start with mass unaliving. Oh, not New Zealand. You said NZ. I was like, okay, I know what you're talking about. But with nativism and scapegoating minorities, sure.
6 or 7 million Jewish people that were killed all the time, right?
I mean, like, if you, like, how far does it have to go until Asmongold accepts that the conditions are quite similar to back then, right? How far does he have to go, right? Do people actually have to start getting into ghettos? By that point, it's already too late, obviously, right? Do people have to start dying? Well, I mean, people are kind of dying, aren't they? Okay, so that's not a line for you. Right? Like, where does he draw the line in which you can finally make that kind of comparison is another, like, one of my questions, I guess.
But collectively, he killed, was it 11? I thought it was like 15 or something like that. But it was over 10 million, right? It was over 10 million people were killed. And I don't want to argue about the 6, 7. Okay, guys. All right, let's stop with that. So my point is, though, that you're
It's kind of funny that Asmongold is saying this while also flirting with neo-Nazis. I'm not talking about like he's literally like romantically flirting, but he's like clearly flirting with the Groypers. He knows what his audience looks like right now. I think Asmongold knows that his audience looks like they're just a bunch of like fucking Groypers, like in his audience, and they encompass a very large part of his audience. But you know, he's got to present his mask on, okay? He's mask on right now, okay? He's mask on, all right? He's mask on like Hassan. Like how Hassan's mask on about being a social democrat.
eliciting Nazi
He only says positive things about Fuentes nowadays. Exactly. But he knows what's going on, all right? Asmongold isn't stupid, right? Like he was he knows that 4chan is talking about him. He knows that the poll threads are talking about him. What are these people consisted of? Nazis, right? He doesn't mind. He thinks they're fans. These people are genuine Nazis. Yeah.
concentration camps to discuss people that are being basically held in an area. Also, by the way, what about every other country? Does every other country have concentration camps? Because many countries do this. Of course, they're going to detain you and capture you whenever you're not supposed to be in the country. What a crazy thing to say.
Wait, so are prisons just concentration camps to him? Or does he think that we all think that prisons are just simply concentration camps? Like, what do you think we're implying when we're saying concentration camps, right? Like, we're putting one specific ethnicity or a group of ethnicities, the undesirables, right, from the country into a same place, so then we're able to do with them as we will, right? That's the point. That's the point of bringing up the comparison to concentration camps. It's not talking about like, oh, well, where do we draw the line? It's the implication of what we're doing with the populace that we find to be so-called undesirable, right? It's just, yeah, I don't know. It's just like, obviously there's bad faith, but what can I say? Okay. I can't watch any more of this. This is too much. Our objection is that we put people in places, not that they're being denied due process. Yes. Good call. I just can't. I can't do it. Like, just like how other people are like, oh, I can't watch this anymore because I just can't handle Asmongold. You know what? I'm fully on board with you, okay? I am also unable to handle myself fully. I can't do it, okay? It's too much. It's just too much, okay? It's painful. It's just actively painful, okay?